Hello friends, this video on management of natural resources part 4 brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us now talk about forest conservation. Now there were some of the acts or there were some of the rules and laws made in past also in order to conserve forests so that people do not cut down trees unnecessarily and disturb the ecosystem. So there was some such act which was passed in 1980 known as the Forest Conservation Act. So what was the result of this act? Deforestation increased, biodiversity decreased. So even though this act was passed, but it did not yield good results. I mean, even with this Forest Conservation Act also, biodiversity kept decreasing and deforestation kept increasing. Wildlife dwindled because as the more you cut forests, the more you cut down forests, what will happen? Animals will lose their source of food. Because most of the animals, for example, if you consider deer or goats or cows, they all feed on plants, right? So if you cut down the plants, they will have nothing to feed upon. So that is how the wildlife will also get dwindled and the biodiversity will get spoiled. Again, there was another policy or conservation act which came in 1988 known as the National Forest Policy. So after this policy came up, what was there in this policy? Villages along with forest department, we will manage specific forest blocks. Like every forest block will have a forest department. That means there will be a forest officer who will be responsible for that particular forest, right? Now there will be nearby villages as well. So the villages as well as the forest officers together will manage those specific forests so that they will protect that particular forest from being cut down by anybody else. Now what was the result of this policy? There was again no considerable success. Now again came up another Forest Management Act in 1992 by 17 states known as Joint Forest Management. So this Joint Forest Management Act was brought into life by 17 different states. They together formed it, and that is why it was known as Joint Forest Management. Now in this, considerable success was achieved because this time this was agreed by 17 different states and it was taken seriously, and there was a considerable success achieved this time. So you see that in order to conserving forests is also not an easy task, because it is not very easy to make each and every people understand the importance of forests. Because most of the times what happens is that these industrialists, they become very much self-centered and that they start cutting down forests. And that is not right. So in order to make each and everyone understand that how precious forests are is again not an easy task. So the nature enthusiasts, the village people who stay nearby, the forest department, they are all trying together to conserve forests. So let us see how much we are able to conserve the same. Now let us look at some of the examples from history where people did so much of sacrifice and compromise just to conserve forests. Protection of khejri trees in Khejrali village in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan there was a village named Khejrali, and that village was called Khejrali because of the plantation or because of the presence of so many khejri trees in that village. Now once what happened was, some people came up to cut down those khejri trees. So there was a nature lover named Amrita Devi along with the villagers from nearby villages sacrificed their lives for the protection of khejri trees. They stood in front of the people who came to cut down the trees and they told that if you want to cut the trees, you will have to kill us and only then you will have to cut down the trees. So they fought with them. So many of them sacrificed their lives for protecting those khejri trees. So this is just imagine how wonderful this example is. People are so very serious about conserving forests that they are even sacrificing their own lives, right? But at the same time, there are some other group of people who, in order to earn more money, are cutting down the trees. right? So in order to maintain an ecological balance, it is very much needed that adequate number of plants, adequate number of animals, birds, insects, adequate an amount of natural resources like water, air, soil, everything is present in a proportionate amount. Only then the ecological stability will be maintained, right? So all of us should be able to understand this. Again, there was another example which was popularly known as Chipko Andolan. So what was this Chipko Andolan? Chipko, the word Chipko is a Hindi word which means to stick to something. So why was this known as Chipko Andolan? That was because once again it so happened that some people came to cut down the trees in a forest, and they came during a time when the men of the village were not present. So what did the women of the village do? The village women clasped the tree trunks, thus preventing the workers from felling down the trees. So each woman clasped herself to the trunk of the tree, and they did not allow the trees to be cut down. So since everybody stuck themselves to the trees, that is why it was known as Chipko Andolan. So this was a very popular movement which took place at that time, and these are some of the examples from history which actually encourage us, which actually motivate us to conserve forests. Now let us talk about something called sustainable management. What do we mean by sustainable management? As I mentioned before, we should always take care that forests in a particular area are sustained. The forest should not get extinct. I mean, it should not get completely destroyed, right? So we should follow a management known as sustainable management, so that the resources can be sustained. The resources do not become extinct. Now, one of the beautiful examples of sustainable management is given by the sal forests of Arabari range. There are these sal forests somewhere near West Bengal. Now, which was a utter waste forest. I mean, that forest was of no worth at that period of time. I mean, there was not much good cultivation. There was not much useful things obtained from that forest. So that forest was an utter waste at that point in those days. Now, there was a forest officer who was posted in that forest, and what did he do? He made use of this management. What did he do? He involved the villagers of the nearby villages in protection of badly degraded sal forests. So he involved the village people to protect the forests. So the villagers were given employment in silviculture and harvesting work. So the villagers were paid for that. Now everybody wants to get a job, everybody wants a earning for himself, right? So the nearby village people, they are generally poor and they don't have anything to do, they don't earn much, right? So if they get some kind of employment in the forest itself, so they will do their part of job in a very nice way, because they know that they are going to be paid for the same. Now all the villagers together, along with the forest department, along with the initiative of the forest department, they worked so well that the waste forest became a wonderful one. So what was the result? The result was that the previously waste sal forest showed great improvement, and it was valued rupees 12.5 crores. So something which was worthless before became worth of 12.5 crores, right? So that is how by good management we can improve things. That means many of the times it happens that even the villagers, or mostly the villagers or the village people who stay nearby the forest, they are benefited from forests. But at the same time, sometimes those villagers only take undue advantage of the forest, which is again not correct. But if those villagers are only employed for the protection of the forests, for improving the forests, what will happen? The forests will also get benefited, as well as the villagers will also get earning for their living, right? So this is how forests, so what did we study in the topic under forests and wildlife? You saw that how forests are a wonderful resource, how forests and wildlife are important in order to maintain the ecological stability. What are the different ways by which forests should be conserved? Who are the people who are responsible for conserving forests? Who are the people who are responsible for destroying forests? And some of the examples which from history where people have sacrificed their own lives for the conservation of forests, right?
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.